Hey, it's Shawn with Kiwi. Welcome back to our segment on tarping. We've got the tarp off now. It's on the ground and we're gonna fold it and roll it up. You wanna make sure it's right side up on the ground. If it ends up upside down, then it's not gonna work right the next time that you go to roll it. So you want the D-rings to be up. And if you have space to do it, you wanna work on getting it flat. The most efficient way to get it flat is to work the corners. Go around the tarp and pull on the corners and you can usually get it flat pretty efficiently. Once you've got it flat, then it's time to start folding. And the most common method that our drivers use is to take the edges to the middle 2 times and then flop it over. So we'll demonstrate what that looks like. So first thing you want to do is survey your tarp and find out where the center is. A lot of times tarps will have a grommet at the center, or if you don't have the grommet there, it'll be at the center of your end flap. So that kind of gives you a target to shoot for. And then you can go and get your end and bring it over. When you're working by yourself, a lot of times it works good to go actually beyond where you want the fold to end up and then bring it back eventually. So I'm going to go and get the other end and then we'll bring it back. I went deliberately too far there. If you go too far with that tarp, then it's easiest to come back to the corner and pull from here, and we can straighten out the tarp and bring it back to our targeted fold point all at the same time. Then the next step, we can either go and bring the other side in, or we can go again with this side, because again we're going to bring the edge to the middle. It's quite common that you'll have to fix it out there in the middle a little bit, but if you've paid attention to your technique on the ends, that should be minimal. And I brought this one again, but you could actually do 2 at the same time. So you can do fold, fold on one end, and then fold, fold on the other end and save yourself a little bit of time. This is something that's a whole lot easier if you have 2 people to do it. There's always been a little bit of a brotherhood of flatbedders. Doesn't matter what color the truck is, usually flatbedders will help each other out when it comes to folding tarps. So let's try to keep that tradition alive. to minimize the amount of rolling that you have to do and to make it easier to spool it out the next time you open it up. If you fold it in half like that, not quite all the way, you want to stop a little shy, but then you don't have to roll so much and it's easier to fold it out the next time. If you've got air, or if it's cold temperatures, you may have to walk the creases into the tarps at this point, and then your bungees that you're going to use to do up the roll, you want those underneath right now. I prefer 2 bungees at about the 1/4 and 3/4 mark, so you're about your even segments on either side, and put about 2/3 of the bungee underneath the roll and let 1/3 stick out. Now we can go and roll. Getting started tight is critical. Anything you give up here is going to multiply itself, and the roll is going to get looser and looser as you go, and these tarps feel twice as heavy when they're not rolled up tight. One of the things that might happen to you is you might have D-rings right here in this corner, and you can usually feel through the tarp and see if you have any D-rings in that area that are going to give you trouble. I think we worked out okay this time, but if you're not, then you can pull back a little towards you or go a little farther that way to fix it. Get that really tight in the beginning, and then as you're coming forward, you may have some wrinkles, and usually you can just kind of steamroll over the top of them. If it's cold temperatures, you may have to go slowly and kind of rock that to let the fabric bend and come around the corner. And then keep your steering in mind. If you start to go off one way or the other, you'll roll it into a cone, so you can kind of push a little bit with your hands. You don't want to pick this roll up. If you pick it up, you'll lose the tension in the roll, so you always want to have down pressure on it. When we come to the end, we want to make sure we don't go too far. If you roll over the top of this, it'll pop out the other side and then you lose your tension again. But when we get to this point, if you've positioned those bungees correctly, you've got the hook sticking out on both sides. I usually put an ankle, one on either side, so I can kind of pinch it, and then pull out here and up, out here and up, and you can get a pretty tight bungee on there. Then switch around and to the other side. Then if it did come out a little bit cone shaped on you, you can stand it up on its end and pick it up and drop it a little bit and take that cone out of it. So now we're ready to go and store it on the truck, and that'll be our next segment. When you're doing your pre-planning for this whole thing, when you pull your tarp off and fold it and roll it, try to do that as close to where you're going to carry your tarps on the truck, if at all possible, so that once it's done, you don't have to move it very far. Again, if there's a machine available to do this work for you, let the machine do the work. If there's another driver there that can help you, do a team lift to get it up on the trailer. It's safer for everybody. If you get them rolled up tightly, then usually you can just roll them on the ground. But you want to roll the same direction that you rolled when you rolled the tarp up, so that when this comes around, like if I roll the wrong way, that's kind of like a little kickstand that stops you every time. So you want to roll the same direction that you rolled the tarp up. And depending on your strength level, you may be able to just pick this thing up and put it on the trailer. Some lifting techniques, you want to keep your back safety in mind. So what I like to do is put my knee underneath it, and I'll roll the tarp up onto my knee so that I've kind of got it like that. And then I've got my knee to actually help me with the throw too. You can see I was just able to get that up on the trailer. If you're not strong enough to do that, then another technique that you can do is bear hug it and set it up on a tire, and then go up onto the trailer from there. So that's a possibility. The other thing that works even easier is to go over to your stairway to go up onto your truck and use that to assist you. So now we can just kind of roll that up on there, get it on the deck plate, watch out for your lines, and then we can do that one more time to get from the deck plate up onto the trailer. Remember, whenever possible, you want to store them lengthwise on the trailer and strap them down. A lot of tarps get damaged in just hauling them around, so be extra careful with them not to cause damage. Happy tarping!